Trucking isn't worth it anymore. Hey, stop. Wait. Before you continue with the video, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and also comment and interact, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hit the dislike button, that's cool too. Also, hit the description, click the link, come join us over at Truckers Getting Fit, Not Fat, man. We got a good movement going on over there. You can also follow me on Twitter, ATruckerNamedJay. You can send me an email at ATruckerNamedJay@yahoo.com. And yeah, man, enjoy the video. But again, hit the subscribe button. That's what you may be hearing. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, I'm starting to see people leave trucking. I'm starting to see people speak on trucking in a different light than maybe they did when they first came in, or, you know, a couple of years previous to them saying that. Here's my opinion. Trucking will always be worth it to the right person. When I say that, I mean that 9 times out of 10, when you come into trucking, if someone's coming into this industry, this wasn't something that was pre-planned, 5 years back, 10 years back. Trucking isn't one of those things that, for the most part, people aspire to be. Okay? Now, you do have those second and third generation truck drivers, and, people who may have known about trucking from a younger age. You have those few that say they wanted to be a truck driver their whole lives. That's rare. Just being honest. You know what I mean? The majority of people who have come into trucking have failed at something else. Just being honest. Okay? And it's not to disrespect nobody. This isn't to take anything away from anything anybody has accomplished in trucking. The majority of people who have come into trucking have failed at something else. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine, because it is my belief that trucking is actually better than what a lot of other people aspire for. The jobs and careers that maybe your friends, family, and peers aspire to be, or have aspired to be, been, and have accomplished and doing, they're 5 years into that and they hate life. I mean, they hate life. You know what I'm saying? They have no idea why they went to school and why they decided that this is what they want to do, because they just cannot stand it. They are, they go to work, they clock in, and they're in purgatory. You know what I mean? They hate it. They hate everything about it. The only thing that they like is their paycheck, which is why most people just chase money these days, because they don't really enjoy doing what they do for the most part. You know what I mean? Because think about it. If everybody loved their job, nobody would call out. Nobody would, find excuses to get off from work. Nobody would, vacation time, what? My job is my vacation. You know what I mean? In my opinion. At least the people who love doing their job, that's what they tell me. They don't feel like they need a vacation because what they're doing doesn't feel like work. But, so, to come back to the point that I'm making is that most people treat trucking as a step down, when in reality, man, trucking probably is a top 10 profession in this country. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It's not too many, and I'm talking overall. I'm including doctors, lawyers, and people are going to look at me like I'm crazy, but when you look at the amount of training that is required compared to the amount of training that may be required for a doctor, lawyer, pediatrician, nurse practitioner, psychologist, whatever. I mean, man, it's not even close. You know what I'm saying? You put 5 years into trucking, and you can be a fleet owner, making well into the 6 figures. You put 5 years into some professions, you're barely scratching the surface of what you can potentially be earning and doing. You know what I mean? So when someone asks me, is trucking still worth it? it's almost, I hate to say it, but it's almost a dumb question. My question would be, why wouldn't you think that it's worth it? You know what I mean? Like, this profession is great. We travel, we see the world. We make money that some in our family have never made, probably will never make. And we have a freedom that comes with our profession that most people would die for. You know what I mean? Like, the freedom as a truck driver, for the most part, because there are some truck driver positions that feel more like a job. We'll talk about that later. But the freedom that comes with being able to wake up when you want to wake up, plan your day how you want to plan it based on your pickup and delivery, of course, and just move how you want to move without someone over your shoulder, in your ear, watching you from afar. Man, that's just a freedom that a lot of people just don't get to experience. You know what I mean? So to be able to do that and make, let's just say after 2 years, make 70 grand, 80 grand, man, is trucking worth it? Huh? We talking about the same trucking? I mean, you got to understand, man, you got some guys out here who came into this industry with nothing and now are running a 7-figure business, 7-figure fleets, buying things that they probably would have never been able to do if they would have stayed on the previous course or whatever life was taking them. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about this is pretty much, if you want to classify it, you can say that this is a blue-collar job. A blue-collar job, or you call it a trade. Let's call it a trade. This is a trade that is allowing you to live a lifestyle at times of someone who has went to school for 6 to 8 years. You know what I'm saying? I think the average bachelor degree, if I remember correctly, was somewhere between 40, I think it was like $50,000. 50 to 55,000 is where, like, if you average all the bachelor degrees all together. And I think masters, it jumps up to 60 to 70. And then I think the doctorate goes like 80 to 100. You have truck drivers who are making 80 to 100,000 after 2 years of truck driving. You know what I'm saying? Now, we won't get into the specifics of the quality of their lives and the freedom and, the amount of time they can spend with family. We ain't going to get into that. We're just looking at it at face value, from surface level. We ain't going to deep dive into it. You know what I mean? But when you just looking at it from, a little, it's like, wow. Like, man, my man went to school for a month and he been driving trucks for 3 years, and, he got a gig where he making $85,000 a year. He gets to spend the weekends with his family. Every 2 months he can take off a week and go wherever he wants, vacation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you got this guy who been in his career for, when I say 3 years, so he's barely scratching the surface. And that's 3 years after going to school for 4 to 6 years. You know what I'm saying? So now you're talking about 4 to 6 years plus 3. So what's that? 7 to 9? 7 to 9 years of time that's been put into that. And you're barely scratching the surface of whatever career that you're in. You're not making the money that you want to make, and you're working double time because you're trying to get to a point in that career where you can be comfortable and have that freedom. Now, granted, the one that went to school, if they're doing what they love, then that's just not even a conversation. That's a different type of conversation. But we're talking about just overall job quality, money, freedom, things like that. Trucking is up there with the best of them, man. You name me any profession, any position in any profession in any industry, and I promise you, I can find a job in trucking that can go toe-to-toe with it. Oh, I know somebody that's a doctor and makes $150,000 a year. Well, I know somebody that haul cars that do that. Well, I know somebody who's a surgeon and makes $200,000 to $300,000 a year. I know somebody that's a fleet owner that do that. You know what I mean? Oh, well, I know somebody. I can find somebody in trucking that does that. These guys that's hauling these oversized loads where they need 4 cops and 2 escorts to get across town. These guys that haul those propellers that like a football field. These guys that's hauling these military contracts. They not making no chump change now. Don't get it twisted. And you know they make money because they never speak. You never hear about those type of positions. You only hear about us arguing over general freight. So, is truck driving worth it? Yes, to put it simply for those who may have been lost in the video, yes. It's more than worth it. It's actually a very respectable, consistent career that isn't going anywhere at least in the next 50 years. I mean, yeah, you got the robots coming to drive the truck, blah, 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 blah. That's not going to make a big change, in my opinion, in the next 50 years. You're going to see more prototypes. You're going to see more of those on the road. But talking about replacing the entire industry, no time soon. Definitely nothing that you should be worried about in 2020 on whether deciding not if you want to be a truck driver. That's nothing, you know what I mean? I would be more worried if I was a cashier anywhere because of the way these kiosks are popping up. You know, though they are probably like cashiers are probably going to be obsolete in the next 5 years. I'm just being honest with you. Hell, they're damn near obsolete now. You go into McDonald's, a Walmart, Kroger, and it used to be like 4 kiosks, self-serve kiosks, and then maybe like 10 registers. Now, you'll go in there, man, and you probably got about 15 self-serve kiosks and maybe like 5 cashiers. And if you're in Walmart, only 1 cashier is open. You know what I'm saying? So that is an industry that, as a cashier, you know, so you got some career cashiers out there, not trying to be funny, but that is a career that is going to become obsolete very soon. But truck drivers, nah, we ain't going nowhere no time soon, man. Not in our lifetimes. Maybe not even in our kids' lifetimes, to be honest. So, that's my opinion, man. That's the way I feel about it. Come get your CDL, man. There's plenty of money out here. There's plenty of opportunity, more so than most professions. You know, I still don't understand to this day why schools, as far as like high schools, don't advertise or, I guess, market trucking in schools like they do everything else. I don't understand it because it's probably one of the best trades you can get. Better than welding, in my opinion. Better than brick mason, all of the trades. And I know some people who don't even classify it as a trade, but it's just as much of a trade. Because once you get that CDL, man, it's impossible to be unemployed. It's almost impossible. You have to do some really crazy stuff. You got people out here with felonies. You got people out here with all kinds of, you know, stuff on their record who are still driving trucks. So it's damn near impossible to be unemployed as a truck driver. But I know a lot of bachelor degree holders, master degree holders who are struggling to find jobs in their professions. They end up having to find a job in other professions, other fields. So is trucking worth it? Man, isn't it? You know what I mean? But, you know, what do I know? That's all I got, man. As always, make sure you like, comment, all that good stuff. Subscribe. Definitely subscribe, man. That's all I got. As always, stay positive, stay productive. God, family, trucking, man. I will check you guys next video.